Welcome back to the GTN show. This week we're starting to wrap up the year and it is our annual Global Triathlon Network Awards.
Oh yes, we've also got pros adventuring in the off-season and we're going to be chatting about more athletes swapping sports. Plus a bit of an update on good old Steve with his Hawaii 5-0 mission.
Yeah, and then we're going to be taking a quick look ahead to 2023 with new race dates and venues being announced. Okay, it's time to take a look at things we've spotted, and we've got a lot to get through here. There's been lots of fun things. So this first one is a new women's park run record. Samantha Harrison has run a 15:37 at Park Run. Now, this was at the Long Eaton Park Run. No idea how hilly it was, but park runs are not like running on a track, trust me. So impressive running from her. And then, having spotted her name, I then saw her race actually just on the weekend. She ran a 10K PB in a time of 31:10, which was, a personal best at Telford 10. And it was snowing as well. So
you also did it, and you also got a personal best.
I did, yes. I'm not going to say how many minutes slower I was than Samantha. Wasn't even in the same wave, but so I did get to see her flying past when I was doing my warm-up, which was very cool.
Well, there is a video to come on her
more
setting
on that one.
PB. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We also noticed this post from Marinda Carfrey. It's the Australia's Triathlon Hall of Fame Awards. So she says, pretty special night at the Triathlon Australia Awards last night, celebrating so many amazing achievements by Aussie triathletes. It was an honour to be the 2022 inductee into the Triathlon Australia Hall of Fame. She was also awarded alongside the likes of Crowe, Belinda Granger, and various others. So really cool to see that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if anyone deserves an award like that, then really certainly does. Back to racing and fast running again now, and it was the European cross-country champs over the weekend, and the Jacob Ingebrigtsen has ruled again. He has just been crowned the senior men's European champion for the second year in a row, but he's only been a senior for 2 years because the previous, how many years is it? The previous 4 years, he was under 20 cross-country.
I believe, and
European
I might be
champion.
wrong here, I think he actually also stepped up earlier. So he was actually still technically
Last
able
year.
to race the... I might be wrong in that, but that's I think that might be right. But either way, impressive.
Yeah, crazy fast running.
And talking of Norwegians, we also saw that Gustav and Christian are on a little bit of a tour at the moment. They are over in Taiwan, are they?
Yeah.
It seems like they're doing a little bit of a visit with Giant, Cadex, their sponsors. But meanwhile, also, Gustav has become somewhat of a celebrity over there.
I mean, it's just brilliant. You need to have a flick through. If you haven't seen this already, I'd go and have a look on Gustav's Instagram and flick through the whole post, because there's some great singing. There's just like him being paraded, people shouting, chanting his name. It's like they are triathlon. Well, they're just royalty full stop in Taiwan, I think, irrelevant of triathlon.
What a way to end the season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had an amazing
It's got to be an ego boost, isn't it, at least?
We also spotted this post from Holly Lawrence, and if you were following Ironman 70.3 Bahrain at the weekend, you will have noticed, and we will go on to the results of that very shortly, but Holly Lawrence was leading the race and then suddenly not. Unfortunately, it looks like she was led off course by the lead moto. She ended up doing an extra 4 miles and then having to ride on some rather busy roads, so had to navigate the traffic before getting back on course. It looks like she actually really tried to claw it back and she got very close, but unfortunately missed out on that podium, which is a real
she must
shame.
be so gutted. Yeah, I mean, she did say that there was a clip of her sounding very angry, but I think that's pretty understandable. Just a little bit distraught. Not a nice way to end the season.
Yeah. Meanwhile, also whilst in Bahrain with the Bahrain team, a number of those athletes kind of came together. Those that weren't racing the 70.3 took part in a relay event. So we saw the likes of Alistair Brownlee, Jan Frodeno, Christian Blumenfeld, and various others out there together. Georgia Taylor-Brown, but really cool to see this particular post from Jan Frodeno with, 3 legends of the sport.
Yeah. I bet Holly wishes she would just gone out there for a holiday as well, doesn't she, after that? But Jan has been adventuring, hasn't he? Because we also spotted this of going off-piste, quite literally.
Yeah, it looks like he's enjoying his off-season. Well, I think he started his off-season a while ago, didn't he? But no, good to see him just having some fun. He's been out skiing and clearly doing a bit of ski mountaineering or whatever he's up to at the moment. But that looks wicked.
Yeah. Well, our final 2 posts are athletes going from one sport to another. Well, kind of in a way. This first one is pro triathlete Sika Henry, who obviously has been venturing into running. Running was her first sport, and she's now just done her first 100k ultra. But she hasn't just done it. She said, "This is my face when I heard I broke the state record. Didn't have a clue what the record was heading into this. Yeah, and then I started doubting I could even finish. And my dad told me to hold on for the record. And the qualifying time for this year's US national team was sub 8 hours 40. That was brutal. Honestly, one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Yeah, I mean, we've dabbled in a bit of ultra, so we know that feeling. But yeah, incredible stuff. So really cool to see her venturing into different sport.
And then we've also got a pro cyclist switching over to running, specifically trail running. So this is David Gadou from France, who actually placed 4th in the Tour de France this last year. He took part in a 34-kilometre trail race in France, which had over 1,200 metres of elevation gain. He finished it under 3 hours, specifically 2 hours 56. Which is pretty impressive. Really cool to see. But now, I'm very excited. We're going to go into our Global Triathlon Network Awards. And to do that, we're going to bring James in.
Well, now for the exciting part of the show, we've got the full team here because this is the Global Triathlon Network Awards, not to be confused with the GTAs. And we have 6 categories that we have chosen, and we have chosen the winners of. There are no other judges involved in this. And our first one to kick us off is our best or our favourite social media channel for the year.
Yeah, envelopes, please. No?
Who are you going to go with?
An envelope.
Well, I mean, we all do spend quite a lot of time flicking through trying to get triathlon news, especially for the show. So I do a fair bit of scrolling, and you know, I like entertainment, but I also like to just see different views and learn something. And I find that Kat Matthews ticks quite a few of those boxes.
I'd agree with that, actually. It's a very good point. I do like her opinion on things.
Yeah, and she sort of will give the research and where it's come from, and not just like, it will be something, if it's her thoughts, she'll say it's her thoughts, but if she'll back it up with some evidence, which I like. Coming from a physio background myself, I think I relate to that.
Valuable content from Kat.
Less valuable than on my side. I quite like the triathlon out of context.
One extreme to the other.
I actually was going to go with the same because they have been really entertaining. I actually don't have anything else to add. Mark and I went for the same category there. And to be honest, I don't follow a lot of triathlon content on, except for the show. Global Triathlon Network keeps tagging me in their posts, but other than that, I think we're going to have to give the winner of this one to Kat Matthews. Congratulations, Kat, our first winner.
Yeah, sorry, no awards being sent out to you, Kat. Don't get too excited.
Don't get too excited.
In fact, I think we still owe her a jumper anyway.
Oh.
Probably.
Oops. Anyway, next one, best performance.
Oh.
Not us.
Not
triathlon. Full stop.
Gosh.
Best triathlon performance of the year. I'm going to go with maybe Sam Ledlow at Kona.
That was impressive.
That was one breakout performance to speak of.
Hayden Wild has been wild, literally this year. It's
most
been amazing.
consistent performance for sure. He's been there the whole year, except the actual grand final.
Ashley Gentle at the PTO races, she sort of performed really well the back end of the year, and Paula Finley on that same distance. I mean, she just seems to have been able to put it all together at last. It feels like it's been a while coming for her.
Ashley at both of those, the Canadian and the US Open, the PTO races, was unbelievable.
We also can't look past Flora. I mean, just
keeps putting it out.
And then, of course, the Norwegians, Gustav and Christian.
Yeah, Christian at St. George, Gustav at Kona, both phenomenal. But I think we're all in agreement on this one. The winner of the performance of the year has to be Ironman World Champion. No, we're not agreeing. No, Mark.
Oh.
Has to be Ironman World Champion, Chelsea Sodaro. Congratulations, Chelsea.
Well done.
No prize. Moving on.
No, it won't be on its way out to you. Okay, well, I guess this leads on quite nicely. The best race to watch. I mean, I know we don't tend to sit down and watch a whole Ironman, but we've all dipped in and out of races over the year, of watching in between time zones.
I actually struggle with this one. So I'm actually, one that stood out was Challenge Roth. You were there. I was there. I was cheering on Quinn, so that was really exciting. But also, whilst that was happening, whilst Quinn was in a world of pain, which was also entertaining, he did really well. Also, seeing Frodeno coming back to racing, and it was that sort of excitement knowing kind of how he's going to do. And he did kind of keep us on our toes for a while, and then pulled out after a couple of K into the run. But it was really cool. And also seeing Magnus Ditlev absolutely crush it. I mean, that was very impressive.
Yeah, what about you, James?
WTCS Grand Final, I think, has to take it. It was absolutely amazing. I'm talking about the men's race in particular, but actually the women's race was pretty head-to-head battle between Georgia and Flora was also impressive. But the men's race with Leo Berger taking it on the line, had to finish four places in front of
Hayden and Alex,
and then in 6 places in front of Hayden, and he did, and he took it like it was just so dramatic. It was amazing to watch.
That was very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Again, for me, I think it's like back to the P2O races when Taylor Knibb had such a massive lead and started walking, and the drama of that, and then she was back to running again, and the positions were closing in on her. Yeah, that was quite just exciting to see and refreshing to see a pro. I know it sounds mean, but almost struggling and then coming back from that, and it just added a good bit of drama.
Coming through, 7 minutes disadvantage was incredible.
Can we pick a best out of that? I mean, there's also Kona. We haven't mentioned Kona, which was also very exciting.
Yeah.
Chelsea, and also the Norwegians chasing down Sam Laidlow.
Shall we put this one out to a public vote?
I think we should. I don't actually.
Leave your best performance of the year in the comment section down below because we can't decide.
Yeah. Now moving on to us.
It's all about us.
Best video of the year.
Ooh, yeah. Walmart Triathlon in Kona.
That was quite funny.
Getting towed down the Queen K by you was maybe the highlight of my year. Yeah.
That was tough.
I mean, you've done a few crazy ones.
Well, we also had the cheap try and the eBay try, which we were all involved in, and that was seriously fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And also going back to earlier in the year, I almost forgot about this, but I got involved in the Arena Games, literally involved in and did the race, and that was just a really exciting and special opportunity. Really love that.
It looked painful, but it's cool to look at afterwards.
You, Heather? What do you
I love just the team aspect. So for me, it was the relays. Challenge Salou, even though I didn't get to swim and had trained for swimming and then had to run. But it was just like the fact of being with the girls and racing against the pros and showing how fast the pros are as well. So that was a really cool experience. And then also our team mixed relay when we just managed to beat some 12-year-olds.
I think there were 14.
14-year-olds, I mean, we beat them. That's all that matters,
Exactly,
Winning vid then?
I think we're going to have to go with the eBay.
The one that united us all.
That was very fun, That was very cool.
A lot of fun, really good fun to make too.
Okay, staying on us then.
It's similar sort of vein now. Best adventure.
Oh, yeah. We like an adventure here at GTN. I think my best adventure was probably the Welsh Three Peaks, climbing the 3 peaks and riding in between them. It was an epic day out. There was some dramas.
We'll come on to that in a
minute. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that day out. It was everything you need in a challenge. It was an early morning. It was weather. It was a hard challenge, a long day, and absolutely smashed at the end. But amazing scenery. It was all there.
Well, I loved doing Mauna Kea, the volcano in Hawaii. I've been a few times now, and I've only ever seen literally Kailua Kona, where the race happens, and haven't been able to venture out. So it was really cool just seeing a bit more of the island. And I mean, that was just insane. It was epic. Also loved getting involved in Xterra Czech Republic. It's been a while since I've done any off-road triathlons, and it was just an amazing race. I just loved it. Xterra hosted a fantastic race, and it was just an amazing course and location. So really cool adventure.
Nice. Yeah, mine was Attila. I mean, you left me to it on that one, Mark.
Sorry, I was meant to be doing it.
Encouraged me, said it would be great to do for the channel, and then going, I'm actually just going to go on holiday, but good luck. But yeah, I mean, thanks to Jenny, that was a very cool experience.
To be honest, I'm going to say I think that wins the vote. I've been there before, I've done the Attila, and I was so excited for us to be doing it as a channel. So I was so pleased that you went and you did it, and you came back absolutely buzzing, as I hoped you would.
That's thanks to Jenny, I think,
maybe. Brilliant video.
Yeah.
So
I haven't been there, so I'll have to put that on my list.
I mean, cold and swimming, you'd love that right up your street, James.
Although that's what they said about you going there too.
Well, true. Well, leading on from cold and having to do some swimming, should we move on to the worst experience, our final award?
Yes. Now, you touched on the Welsh Three Peaks before. What you guys didn't see on film was we did have a few technical issues whilst we were out there. After how many hours of cycling or running?
It was 10, maybe 11 hours.
Yeah, we won't go into specifics, but essentially all footage was lost. But we did recover it. But you can imagine how that made us feel.
I would have loved to be the fly on the wall.
11 hours into your challenge and your cameraman comes up to you and says, by the way, guys, I just lost all the footage for the last 11 hours. Thanks for working so hard.
If he's editing it, this bit won't make the cut.
As I said, technical issues. No one's at fault here, but it was obviously very painful at the time, and we were very
Not a good
tired.
experience.
So that was a
I think you guys still
pretty
need some
low
therapy for that,
moment.
but anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, we should move on.
Mark rode off and didn't talk to me for a long time. But we came back together, we finished the day, it was all good. I think my worst experience for the year, my visa for Roth, or lack of visa to go to Roth. So I sent my passport off to get a new driver's license, and the Royal Mail didn't send it back to me for over a month because it was 0.5 millimeter too thick and there wasn't enough postage or whatever. They just lost it. And I missed out on going back 10 years after I won Roth to support Quinn, who I'd coached for the whole year to get to Roth, and I just sat at home watching it from a distance.
He actually did say to me that he preferred me as a coach anyway, so it all worked out pretty well.
Just making the worst experience worse.
How about you, Heather?
Well, I thought James would have joined me on this one, but the Ironman with no fuel. I mean, it ended better than it was in the midway point, but that was a pretty dark day for many hours.
There were some other bits in that video. Well, didn't make the video, which you may have.
We can say that for another day, because otherwise I'll need therapy again. But
that was pretty traumatic. And I think actually that one's going to have to take the title. That was a long, brutal day. Mark really suffered too on the side of the road, handing out donuts while he watched, or eating donuts.
Well, actually, one of my sausage rolls wasn't even warm. Oh my god, that was.
Anyway, I think that's probably enough about us, isn't it, guys? But
it's been a good year.
Yeah, and if you guys
awesome.
have different thoughts on some of these awards, do let us know, because we'd love to hear them. And I think we're done with you now, James. We're going to crack on the rest of the show.
More of this coming in 2023. See you there.
And now moving on to the Tri News, and to start off with, we've got a couple of quick event announcements, new venues, new dates, etc. First of all, Xterra European Champs, which I took part in this year, which are in Czech Republic. Now they are rotating them and their location each year. This year, it will be taking place, 2023, will be taking place at the Citadel of Namur in Belgium on Saturday, the 10th of June, for the very first time. And I understand, because it has been used for Xterra events in the past, that it's a really, really cool course. So.
Do you think it'll be back to see if you can place a bit higher?
Maybe.
We've also got new date announcements from Super League Triathlon, their arena games. It's going to be the same non-drafting format that they've had this previous year. And they've got 4 locations. So it's going to start on the 23rd of February at the Parc Olympique Sports Centre in Montreal, Canada. Then March the 12th, it's going to be in Surrey, Switzerland. The 25th of March in Singapore. They're still confirming the exact venue. And then it is the final weekend, which is over 2 days, and that's going to be at the Aquatic Centre in London on the 8th of April.
Yeah, and because it is a non-drafting format like it was last year, we have heard that they may be bringing in some athletes from other parts of triathlon.
Watch this space.
So, yeah, very excited about that. Now also, back in September, Ian Lambert from Wallsend in the UK completed a 1,000-mile triathlon. Now, apologies because we missed this at the time, but Ian very politely messaged us about this, and rightly so. This was really, really impressive. He did this over, I believe, around a 12-day window. So he swam 30 miles over the course of 3 days, 10 miles per day, and he did this in Loch Shin in the Highlands. So pretty cold. Yeah, he did say. And so he started that on the 6th of September. Then he rode 770 miles, which he did over 5 days, averaging around 150 miles per day, cycling down all the way to Bristol. And then he started his 200-mile run, obviously split over 4 days, and all the way down to Cornwall. So very, very impressive. Why is he doing all of that? Well, he was doing it to raise money for the Dragonfly Cancer Trust, which are raising vital funds for young cancer patients. And to date, I believe he's raised around or just over £8,000.
Amazing.
And it's just, really impressive. Well done for doing that and organising it, because I think just the logistics alone for these sort of things are incredible. And if you'd like to donate, then we'll pop the link for that in the description down below.
Well, hopefully you guys spotted the first in our mini-series of the Hawaii 5-0 videos, which stars our amateur triathlete, Steve, who is a 50-year-old man working a full-time job with a family and trying to see if he can qualify for the Ironman World Championships. And he's been, ticking along, sort of having a few lumps in the road as we would expect. And he's got a little bit of an update for us here.
He has, yeah. He's probably someone that a lot of us can relate to. Lost his way with triathlon during lockdown over the last few years. And he set himself this lofty target of trying to qualify for the Ironman World Champs, which obviously aren't going to be in Hawaii anymore, so it does kind of ruin our title.
Branded, yeah.
But yeah, so it started the Hawaii 5.0 project. You can also stay tuned for our next update, or big video, which is coming this weekend, and we'll be having those coming out every month. And he is currently now using the Humango AI training platform, who actually got a deal going till the end of the month, 50% off for their subscriptions, which you can also buy as gift cards for your family and friends. But for now, let's get a quick update from Steve.
Very high tech today, run workout. Going old school. Day 2 of the plan. So far, so good. 2 weeks in, and life has thrown me a couple of curveballs. Unfortunately, my wife had a bit of an injury on Tuesday, hurt her back. So obviously that's been a priority for the last few days. So I've actually haven't done any training for a couple of days. I also had a little, I think I mentioned it before, little niggle knee injury. So that hasn't been a bad thing, not running, to be honest. And I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to sort of adjust Humango and get my hourly training down. Currently at 13, and it actually feels too much. So I'm going to use winter as an opportunity to do a bit of strength training. Had a good chat with Heather on Friday, and we're going to sort of introduce a bit of stability work and flexibility, because I sort of don't really have either of those. So yeah, that's the plan. It's the weekend now, so I'm probably going to go out on my gravel bike, because it's absolutely beautiful at -2, wintry, lovely day. So I want to get out in the woods and have a play, and then probably do a swim as well tomorrow. So a little bit off-piste of Humango, but I think you've got to be flexible with these things, right? So yeah, there we go. Chat soon.
And now for the race news. We had 2 big events this weekend. Ironman 70.3 Bahrain to start with. Now this was won by Vincent Louis. He led out the swim, and he was caught by a big group on the bike before then charging ahead again on the run, making it his 3rd win in a little over a month, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
Second went to Sam Dickinson, and third to Maximilian Spell.
And talking of winning a few on the trot, Holly Lawrence was attempting to win her 4th Bahrain 70.3, and things hadn't been going well because her bike didn't arrive. I think it came literally hours before the race, but then she had her head on. She was first out the water along with Natalie van Kerverden, and they headed off on the bike. Holly soon opened up that gap. She's the strong rider that she is, and then it all went pear-shaped like we mentioned earlier, and she did go the wrong way and lost a huge amount of time and came into T2 in 4th place and tried to climb back up but didn't manage to. It was actually Marjolaine Pierre who had the strongest run of the day to come through to take the win. Natalie van Kerverden was in 2nd, and Didi Diedrichs was 3rd, with Holly Lawrence 3 minutes behind in 4th.
Oh, brutal. Now for Ironman 70.3 New Zealand, in the women's race, it was Anna Bergston who had a 5-minute deficit out of the swim, but managed to work her way back through the field, passing the likes of Hannah Berry and Rebecca Clark to take the win overall. Hannah Berry took 2nd, and then Rebecca Clark in 3rd.
Yeah, well, the men's race was dominated by Jack Moody. It was all due to his very strong bike. Got the fastest bike split of the day and ended up winning in a time of 3:49, ahead of Mike Phillips coming in with a 3:57 behind him in 2nd, and Simone Cochrane from New Zealand was 3 hours 57. Time to take a look at your photos, and we've got a really wonderful selection, and we've been sent in quite a few recently. So if these inspire you, or you've been up to something fun or interesting, or even just setting up your pain cave, you know what to do. You can share them with us using the upload that's on screen now. You can also find that in the description below. And this first picture comes from Michael, and he says, the calm before the storm at Brighton Beach, Victoria, the pre-Christmas triathlon in beautiful weather.
It's like polar contrast.
I know, so these
right
people.
Now.
Okay, we don't want any more from the Southern Hemisphere. I mean, that's enough already.
No, I like the snow. No, really cool. Great that they can do that in the winter. I'm always quite envious of seeing the Australians, etc., doing that.
Yeah.
Now, next one from Johnny from London said, finally got my indoor setup dialed in, but it's now too easy to spend all that time inside instead of in Richmond Park or on Box Hill. However, it's perfect for building a solid base in preparation for Ironman Coeur d'Alene. And now he's actually sent this photo in, which is him taking part in Ironman Aix-en-Provence, which he says, interesting fact, this was the last and I think the only time that they did the full distance there, which he says he was very lucky to do because it doesn't seem to be in their schedule anymore. Probably because it's so blimming hard. I think the 70.3 alone, everyone often complains how hard it is, so they probably decided they wouldn't do it full layer again.
Yeah, fair enough. But then if you read on and you look closely at his photo, he then just say he has a score to settle with the bike course after my seat post clamp broke and added at least 90 minutes to my overall time. Some serious side of road repairs, wedging a bottle between the frame and the saddle were required to limp into T2. That's some good ingenious repairs.
Yeah, very good. Looks like he's fixed it now, though, because it's all set up without a bottle there. I don't think that's a good permanent fix, is it? Next one from Ben from Bustleton. It said, last spin the day before Ironman, Western Australia, and was hit by a car, snapping my bike and my arm, requiring emergency surgery. Ouch.
That's quite a mess, isn't it? I mean, the arm looks very much like the bike.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Ben, and I hope you're recovering okay at the moment.
Yeah, nasty. And our final one is a little video sent in from Christian in Copenhagen. He says, our first social swim of December got a little wilder than usual. Luckily, there was a warm glog afterwards. I'd love to know what glog is. It sounds like it's hot and alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little warming drink, but that does look like cold water. I thought it was the UK when I first watched that. But yeah, well done to you guys.
I'm going to Google glog after this, and I'm going to have some of that, I think. And finally, we've got Caption Competition, your chance to win some GTN goodies if you give us the best caption. Now, last week's photo was from Abu Dhabi here, and we had some great captions coming in. Firstly, from Jabansky. Whee!
Rachel Carr has this, says, sending it over the finish line.
Corolla JJ, when you trust your rival to attach your parachute.
Seth Wilson has, yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Nice. And then Rebecca Harrison, 4180. It's a burned. It's a plane. It's a triathlete.
But our winner this week is from Tomask 2092. Says, when your swim training plan says 100 meters, fly.
Nice. Well, you are the winner. Get in touch and we'll ping a cap or bottle. I don't even know what we're sending out these days.
Whatever you're lucky enough to receive.
Now, this week's Caption Comp photo is from the Arena Games last year. Obviously, we've got the Arena Games coming around again for 2023, so we thought we'd reminisce a little bit. And this is Aurélien Raphael taking part in that, pulling a bit of a face. Any ideas?
I have no idea why he's pulling a face, and I don't have any suggestions either.
But you said a really good one to me before.
Ha ha.
You did? You said, what was it? It's,
you don't...
trust me, it's a fart.
I mean, you guys know me well enough. I did not come up with that.
You just said it. Why didn't you just say it? It was such a good one.
Stop embarrassing me.
We had a real giggle about it. Oh, anyway.
Well, please, guys, come up with something better and help me out and defend me on that one. You can do better than Mark's suggestions, I'm sure. You know what to do. Leave it in the comments section below. And that does bring this week's show to a close. We have coming up a video when Mark and I go and attempt to do some race walking and find out just how fast race walkers are.
Yeah, attempt, I think, is... it was interesting and probably going to be very, very entertaining. But yeah, if you've enjoyed today's show, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and head on over to the GTN shop. You can get hold of some goodies, maybe even get some ahead of Christmas if you're lucky. And also, whilst you're at it, why don't you check out our runner versus cyclist video, Heather and I racing up a volcano, and I think I'm still recovering, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, mentally scarred from that one.